pray my love don't lie to me. Swing the iron like stamps and I can't let no hoe lie to me. I don't feel these rappers, oh they lies, this hypocrisy. Ain't no competition, ain't no rivalry. Niggas think I'm playing, I don't hear one word they saying. This shit light work. Think Muhammad one of us, he might lose his life first. Circle up and stay alert. Another cop just stretch the nigga. He a demon, this that exorcism. Watch I bless the nigga. You took that open blood, then you know I'm gon' get active with you. Fuck the opposition, I see vision. Let me paint the picture. Rappers claim they spit and I ain't listening. Is in fact the If revenge was a woman, now I stroke that bitch like Jackie. So time war, we gon' run the summer. It's gon' be historical. Thought they making plays, made them niggas call the audible. Ask who run this shit, but that question is rhetorical. Bitch, I'm the one, me cookies with the oil. I'ma get them crackers, hell, should've never kidnapped my family. I can't do that, bet I be the last nigga standing. Do a life sentence for my niggas, pray you understand me. I might put a switch on this Glock and call it young baby. How you real trigger know them dots? You a bird feeder, claiming he a demon. What's a demon to a cold leader? What he saying something, I ain't hear him. This shit like it ain't about who got the gun, it's about who gon' up that pipe first. I turn a bad situation to a game changer. Bring soldiers from the dead, just raised up the chain. Free shots, I'ma look like Aaron Jones when I run it. Never bite the hand that feeds you, you'll never get that hand back. He bitchin' about 10%, I don't wanna hear none of that. He dropping sword, fuck him, just make sure you get that cover back. Look around, he ain't with us, probably cause he never was. Now my chin like you with the angels for your brothers. Everybody wanna be Richard Porter, God kill him like Alpo. Play if he want, it's laying in the trunk like Lee Malvo. I'm a certified woman's ass nigga, I am not a toy. Hey, I with that hollow side, yeah, this the real McCoy. Feel like Gullah Jack when I'm in Fayetteville, you feel your boy. Still up on my brain, still I think that's all that I enjoy. The way I get that boy lost, they gon' start to call him Elroy. Fuck his game, pop out on them demons like I'm Hellboy.
Practice, not a game, not the game that I go out there and die for and play every game like it's my last. Not the game. We're talking about practice, man. I mean, how silly is that? And we're talking about practice.
Best believe that I'm top 3. The only thing is I'm not 2 and I'm not 3. Put me anywhere other than one that is not me. It's beef, we strut a nigga block, that's chopped cheese. No peace, the butterfly sting him, that's Ali. You reach, I teach him with the handle, that's Kyrie. Machines you hook like a Roman, that's IV. You a sheep, I'm a go, it's a difference, so watch me. You weak, all hooks, no punches, so block these. They mock me, I just show them how it goes. Try to stomach this thug life. They ring got the nose, bandana on the grip. All heads coming out the foe, connected from Cali to New York, niggas, so let it go. Made for this, nigga, I eat bars and drink flows. Thinking you woke into your third eye, peephole. Line for line, this shit too easy, it's like a free throw. Mastered the game too early, this bitch a cheat code. It ain't a game, these niggas lame, state bring a shame. If I'm with an officer, it's a number in his name. We ain't the same, you want the easy pass, tell him change his lane. Shit, I've been through the fire, you can't stand the rain, take an aim. Tell him runner he can try his best. Drive a car named after me, that's why I'm in the vet. Laughing these niggas once again and I ain't break a sweat. Number one at everything I do, that's why I'm one west. The Lord is not the God of the dead, so when I die, coming back for my spot, so forever I'm top 3. Just tell him to watch this, janitor with the mop stick. You gon' need a defensive lineman to block this. On point when I bomb shit, 10 for 10 I do not miss. I'm barking with a full bulldog, it is not mixed. They can see that my mind's sick, I don't write, I find shit. I don't like it, then I switch. If I touch it, it's diamond. Tell a bitch that I'm God sent. It ain't because my kicks is built like 5'6", 5'7" is my bitch. Dangerous, high risk. I lose it, get another one. You think I'm talking about a girl? I'm talking about another gun. Head now? Hey, look, it is what it is now. We don't fuck with the house niggas. We burn the crib now. I'm ahead now, and I hope they can head now. I don't care if you think it's it, nigga. I don't fear clowns. Silences make it sound like raindrop. That's a quiet storm. Get the job done in the view or get fired on. If you niggas standing for nothing, what you dying for? If you put real with real, that's how I was born. Walking this bitch ready for war. I'm in riot form. form. I want these niggas to see me flesh, that's why I am armed. I shouldn't live in the crib, nigga. I should buy a farm to go through this shit so effortless. Best believe that I'm top 3. Only thing is, I'm not 2 and I'm not 3. Best believe that I'm top 3. Only thing is, I'm not 2 and I'm not 3. Best believe that I'm top 3. Only thing is, I'm not 2 and I'm not 3.
Yeah. Hey, make me go again. Yo, I one west to the dead. Yeah, fuck everything else. Big boot on me fringes. Girl, I tell me say she love the way how me change it. Everything sign and seal. Then I tell me say she love the deal. Yeah. Big boot on me fringes. Girl, I tell me say she love the way how me change it. If I don't know you pick my youth, me I tell you no straight out. And I'm in business. Yeah, man I move real heavy. 20 man I jump out a couple Chevy. Well serious, man no look happy. Wrong move turn a boy in a duppy. Them a waste man. Them a talk about me but me no care man. After everything else me still deep on. Cause the truth me a talk and the truth and the part me a sleep on. Yeah. Delivered it off fire. Everything up in the air like fire bonfire. But I can't tell ya how and I'm a dead soul let them have to rise in power. Liar SHALAM. This year what for my brothers and my sisters. We get caught off early. Big boot on me fringes. Girl I tell me say she really love all the changes. If I don't know you picking my youth, me I telling me straight out. And I'm in business. Yeah. Big boots on me braids, man. Yeah, me not left me shades on. Special type of gun for this occasion. Hardcore, can't tip on me right hand. Everything talking real neat. Tell a boy I come just through him, no sweet, discreet. Him a trouble for breed. I am no shotty. Me conscience it a speak. Rats and snakes, them throat get slit. Yeah, me give them the realness. Don't start freak out. When 200 million of me niggas them out. Yeah, shot in a face, shot in a mouth. Rise it up, balance the soul reaper. Make evil stay far. Yeah, well I know what I'm say. The truth though, I saw the thing go man. Move. Big boot on me fringes. Girl I tell me say she love the way how me change it. If I don't know you picking my youth, me I telling no straight out. And I'm in business. Big boot on me fringes. Big boot on me fringes. Boot on me fringes. Yeah, I'm telling you. One West or nothing else.
Hey, Shalom, Canada. To all the so-called black, Hispanics, and native, make sure you tune in.
Yeah, on 44 shit, you know what I mean? Busy man. Look, when that shit drop, you step all the way on their neck, step on their neck and their head with that shit.
Fine, I ain't show no mercy, we gon' show them boy what time it is. I pop out like I'm Samuel, I got time to kill. Haters thought I died, I survived. They don't know how I did it, got it out the mud, straight to glory. They don't know how I fed, he nice, but he don't show them skills, how I show them skills. He ride, but he don't work the wheel, how I work the wheel. They mad, up to solid, circle tight, yeah, vacuum seal. No, they want my life, I ain't worried, I got rank for real. I got real soldiers, kill for me, nigga, watch yourself. They said you been in beast mode lately, you is not yourself. When you dropping that fire, precious marriage, they inquiring. They can't stop what's coming, but I see them conspiring. Cross the line, them firing. This bitch here, finna break the spin. No kindness, I don't trust you, circle small. You can keep your features. Me and my niggas don't keep no secrets. And it feel like Jeepers Creepers. Say they want some smoke, dog. So I brought these chimney sweeps. Coming like we coming, you can't even cap. These niggas don't run it like we running, bitch, don't even start. Bitch, I'm with my niggas till the end, till them do us part. So if you wanna leave, you can leave, bitch. Bless your heart, fine in. I ain't show no mercy, we gon' show them just know it's women, that bitch fully loaded. Ooh, yeah, we up and rolling. Told them I need major motion. Think I'm joking. I'ma school them niggas like they baby Jody. Got it out the dust, now I'm too clean. Don't know why they hate me. What you want out life, dog? Guns and butter, baby boy.
Yeah. On 44 shit, you know what I mean? Busy man, busy man. Look, when that shit drop, you step all the way on their neck, step on their neck and their head with that shit.
Fine in, I ain't show no mercy, we gon' show them boy what time it is. I pop out like I'm Samuel, I got time to kill. Haters thought I died, I survived. They don't know how I did it, got it out the mud, straight to glory. They don't know how I fed, he nice but he don't show them skills, how I show them skills. He ride but he don't work the wheel, how I work the wheel. They mad, I'm too solid, circle tight, yeah, vacuum seal. No, they want my life, I ain't worried, I got rank for real. I got real soldiers, kill for me, nigga, watch yourself. They said you been in beast mode lately, you is not yourself. When you dropping that fire, precious marriage, they inquiring. They can't stop what's coming, but I see them conspiring. Cross the line, them firing. This bitch here, finna break the spin. No kindness, I don't trust you, circle small. You can keep your features. Me and my niggas don't keep no secrets. In the feel like Jeepers Creepers, say they want some smoke, dog. So I brought these chimney sweeps. Coming like we coming, you can't even cap. These niggas don't run it like we running, bitch, don't even start. Bitch, I'm with my niggas till the end, till them do us part. So if you wanna leave, you can leave, bitch. Bless your heart, fine in. I ain't show no mercy, we gon' show them boy what time it is. I pop out like I'm Samuel, I got time to kill. Haters thought I died, I survived. They don't know how I did it, got it out the mud, straight to glory. They don't know how I fed. He nice, but he don't show them skills, how I show them skills. He ride, but he don't work the wheel, how I work the wheel. Ooh, I got a man, circle tight, yeah, vacuum seal. I heard they want my life, I ain't worried, I got rate for real. Take over in effect, yeah, I'm fully focused. You might not see it on me, just know it's women, that bitch fully loaded. Ooh, yeah, we up and rolling. Told them I need major motion. Think I'm joking, I'ma school them niggas like they baby Jody. Got it out the dust, now I'm too clean, don't know why they hate me. What you want out life, dog? Guns and butter, baby boy. UPK top, dog. Certified road runner. I'ma turn that E.K. to a damn tank. I got choppers stashed in the attic like they in Frank. They had that shit on lock till I snapped on them like bolt cutters. You cannot play both sides, gotta choose your colors. See I'm throwing that one up with that W, that's my blood, bro. Fine in. I ain't show no mercy, I'm gon' show them boy what time it is. I pop out like I'm Samuel, I got time to kill. Haters thought I died, I survived. They don't know how I did it, got it out the dust, straight to glory. They don't know how I fed. He nice, but he don't show them skills, how I show them skills. He ride, but he don't work the wheel, how I work the wheel. Ooh, I got a made, circle tight, yeah, vacuum seal. Said they want my life, I ain't worried, I got rate for real.
Hey, Shalom, Canada. To all the so-called black, Hispanics, and native, make sure you tune in. We have the Rise podcast. Make sure you don't miss it. Brought to you by Officer 1000 Adiyar, Officer 1000 Zabadia, Officer 500 Sharia 1, Officer 50 Baraki Allah, I.S.U.P.K Canada, under Commanding General YAHANNA.
The place where you will learn biblical prophecies, scriptural truth, and how it relates
to our everyday life, our history, our identity, our oppression, and our future.
The Rise podcast.
Hey, Salak, y'all the one, you're on mute.
All right, well, we back at it. We back at it throughout the priest. What's going on, Canada? For everybody tuning in, you know, like this video, share this video, share this podcast, this episode that we're doing with this show on every social media platform you could think of. We're streaming on I.S.U.P.K Canada, I.S.U.P.K Quebec, and as well as the Rise podcast 1969. This episode will be on the Rise podcast 1969 permanently. Eventually, we'll only be streaming to the Rise podcast 1969. What's going on, Brock?
Everything to wow about the one. We got a long night.
God. Come, most high in Christ. You hear that captain of color, that 144, the rebel. He said he got choppers in the attic like he Anne Frank. Anne Frank. Good night. Listen,
Salah, the other one.
right.
Very soon, they're about to have some wolves. They're about to have some wolf music, you know?
Right.
They're about to listen to the wolves of the north.
Right. I just gotta say, like the best spitters come out of the UPK.
Right.
There's nothing like Barzal when Officer Barzal hit us with that. Yeah, I changed. Good. Now I'm gonna play that before the episode's done. But we got a bunch of stories. We're gonna run through them real quick. We ain't going to be spending too long. Right? We're gonna run through them real quick. What's the first story we got, Barack? Let's see.
Well, why you want to start first, other one?
Damn, we could listen, Barack. You sent me a video. I ain't even gonna play it, but you sent me a video of something's going on in Bangladesh, right? Bangladesh is Brampton.
Right.
That's what you know the spot we went to after the club. Remember with the
club.
pear tree, the spot with the pear tree.
Khan.
Right. That's the city of Brampton, right?
Right.
Now, Brampton has a heavy. They like to call themselves brown, right? They like to call themselves brown, not like Northern Kingdom brown, the
Right.
brown, the
Dirty
Dirty River brown. Good night, Salakia. Good night. You know the Doodoo Fest. They have the Doodoo Festival.
Right.
That brown. Yeah. So over there they call it Bangladesh. Insurance in that city is high. You sent me a video of some man being attacked with axes and machetes. They put an axe in that man's back.
Right.
And I was trying to figure out, the car was on. Why didn't he put the car in reverse and get out of there?
Salaki, I don't know if I may. Like, these men were masked men, but you could tell out of all the heathens that would do something like that, this is not Esau. It's that Esau don't go attacking people with like axes and machetes like that.
No. That's the Bangladesh people, right?
Right.
But I'm watching the video, and the only thing I can see, because listen, whatever happens to the heathens happens to the heathens. But the only thing I could think of is, why did he not put the vehicle in reverse? Like you open the door, he let them open the door. My hand is going on the gear stick. I'm stomping on the brake, and that's going in reverse. And then I might switch the gear again and go forward. Salakia. Reverse and forward a couple times. Salakia.
Right.
Good night. That was crazy. Them heathens, they sure are stupid. All right, but that's what we'll talk about for a second. But let's go into Canada, 1.4 billion. You can pull that story up.
Khan. Hey. Salaki, one.
Khan.
Some people, they ain't take advantage of the SHALAM check.
Salakia, I'm not even sure if these are SHALAM checks. These just seem like checks that are tax checks that just didn't go out. So Canada has an excess amount of money, like 1.4 billion in uncashed checks. And they say, before I let you read the article, they say that they have no money to give to the natives.
Right.
No money for black folks for the crimes they've done to us, right? For our slavery. They don't even like talking about black slavery in Canada. It's damn near to a point where you can't find any information on it. Right? They don't want to talk about that stuff. Right? So you can read that article when you got it.
Canada Wakan. Approximately 1.4 billion in uncashed checks is sitting in the Canada Revenue Agency's coffers.
Good night. So there's 1.4 billion sitting in revenue in these coffers, right? That's money that could go to so-called Gadites, right? There's a water crisis going on in Gad. nation of Gad, right? The Pope doesn't want to pay them for the residential school. Canada doesn't want to train them to use these water plants, right? That's the thing. Canada will build a water plant and not train the Gadites to be able to use it.
Right.
Right. And it's a horrible thing. And the Christian church wants us to love our oppressors. The Christian church wants us to be hand in hand with these so-called devils.
Slovakia one, if I may.
Khan.
That should be another wake-up call, right? For our people, knowing that when you read Zephaniah 2:1, when it speaks about the nation not desired, Canada has about 1.4 billion in uncashed checks, right? And is not sending a penny, not even $5 to the so-called Native Indians, which is the tribe of Gad up in Canada, right? They let them starve, they let them die of thirst on reservations. Meanwhile, they're sending billions and billions of dollars to Ukraine. Understand? So that should be a wake-up call for our people. When it speaks about the nation not desired, it literally speaks about the so-called Negroes, so-called Hispanics, and so-called Native American Indians.
Right. Right. And it's one of those things. Let's get more into this article.
Khan. The Canada Revenue Agency, the CRA, has approximately 1.4 billion in checks that have gone uncashed over the years. As of May 2022, there were an estimated 8.9 million uncashed checks with the CRA. And we want to
that's
make
for
sure
2022 alone. That's crazy.
God.
$9 million, right? All the families you could feed. There's a housing crisis in Canada, in Toronto, right? In Toronto, like Salakia, the next time I leave where my slavery is, I'm gonna do a little video of Edomites sleeping in the park, right? There's Edomites sleeping in the park, Gadites sleeping on the streets, but Canada has 1.4 billion in uncashed checks.
Right. It's the lockdown one.
Come.
We also have a housing crisis up here in Montreal. I mean, in Quebec, but it's really focused on Montreal. Like I was saying, there's also like a gentrification problem where a lot of buildings, like in my area or the area next to mine, right, uptown Côte d'Ivoire, Amalekites and Ishmaelites are buying the buildings and they're renovating it and they're renting it for like one bedroom for like $1,200 to $1,500, right? That sounds like Toronto prices up in Montreal, right?
You don't say. I bet there's a housing crisis. Wherever Edom dwells, there's going to be a housing crisis.
So they basically pushed us out the neighborhood and we have to move further like down south and everything.
Right.
Where it's still about affordable, right? But then again, I mean, they're buying up the properties and they're raising up the price in areas that nobody really cared about before. Nobody really would even want to be in this area before. You understand?
Right. Nah, that's definitely heavy. Right. That's definitely heavy. They're buying out the areas where we live, pricing us out. That's why you have to understand. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans have to understand that if you cry to your oppressor about the horrible things that the oppressor set up in your neighborhood and say that you need more police, right? You're just going to end up getting priced out of your neighborhood. The police are going to come. They're going to kill all the young men or treat them unfairly, right? And then they're gonna sell that neighborhood and price you out, right? Let's keep reading that article.
Khan. So as of May 2022, there were an estimated 8.9 million uncashed checks with the CRA. And we want to make sure that this money ends up where it belongs, in taxpayers' pockets.
Right. So the whole question is, how are there uncashed checks? Like, and they're saying they want to make sure it ends up where it belongs, right? But they know where the checks are supposed to go. right? So it comes down to, why aren't the checks where they're supposed to be? Keep reading.
Wakan. Each year, the CRA issues millions of payments in the form of refunds and benefits. These payments are issued by either direct deposit or by check. Over time, payments can remain uncashed for various reasons, such as the taxpayer misplacing the check or even a change of address which did not allow for delivery. The CRA will be notifying some recipients of the Canada Child Benefit and related provincial territorial programs, GST, HST credit, and Alberta Energy Tax Refund, ATR, recipients of any uncashed checks they may have by email notification. Approximately
So you could drop that right there, right? The CRA, they know where these checks are supposed to go. They'll say that if someone didn't Salakia, they'll say stuff like an address was changed or someone lost a check. If someone lost a check, why wouldn't you send it back out to them, right? Why are you not trying to get in contact with them, right? For them to say they don't know where these people are, that's not likely. Everyone has some form of ID. On your ID, it has your address on it.
Salakia, other one.
Con.
Like you said, them saying they cannot track the people. I mean, if you owe them money, they track you down easily. But when they owe you money, they misplace it. They don't know how to get to you.
Right. Right. So we could drop that article and leave that article there. Right. The CRA, they have money for you. Canada, in short, has money to help the Gadites. They just print it. Right. They have $1.4 billion that could help the Gadites, that can help so-called blacks, Hispanics, but they're not willing to. Right. Let's get to our next article.
And Salakia, other one.
Con.
I might be one of the recipients who, changed his address or misplaced his check. So, Salakia. Hey, CRA, if you're hearing this, y'all already know where to find me.
Listen, what the CIA needs to do is cut the check to the UPK. We'll make sure there's no more crime in Canada. Good night. They're talking about they have 1.4 billion in checks that they can't find the people to give it to, or checks are being misplaced.
You don't want to send 1.4 billion to the UPK? It's all right. Just send $1 million. You understand? We will know what to do with it.
Right. Let's get to North Korea offers Russia, what is that, 100,000 volunteers.
Right. Let me get that article out of one.
Good night. 100,000. What is going on? And listen, World War III is ramping up. These nations are going to war.
I read something as well about North Korea sending Russia 100,000 volunteers, right? It's like nobody could argue against Kim Jong-un and North Korea. North Korea basically does whatever they want, whatever the hell they want to do. Nobody can tell them to do something or to not do something. They will do or not do whatever they want to. You understand? It's not like Russia's been asking North Korea, hey, send us 100,000 troops, send 100,000 troops. You understand? North Korea just said, you know what? I'm going to help Russia.
Right.
They just felt like it. Kim Jong-un feels like pressing the button, he'll press the button.
Well, here's what you also have to understand, right? There are nations that are allies. Like there are nations that they link up together and they gather together because they know they have a common enemy. That enemy is America.
Wakan.
That enemy is Babylon for all the evil that they've done. 1 second. Brock, you could take it for now.
Wakan. So like we said, North Korea is sending Russia 100,000 volunteers, right? So let's get into the article. North Korea offers Russia 100,000 volunteers for war on Ukraine. Russia's state TV says. North Korea has offered Russia 100,000 volunteers to aid in the war against Ukraine, according to Russian state TV. There are reports that 100,000 North Korean volunteers are prepared to come and take part in the conflict, talk show host Igor Korochenko said on Russian Channel 1, the Post reported. So basically, like we said, it's not even like Russia is asking for the help of North Korea, even though they're allies. The North Koreans are volunteering themselves to go fight against the Ukrainians. You understand? The North Koreans are basically saying, hey, we'll just go help Russia. Understand? Russia's an ally, we'll just go help them. They don't even need to ask for anything. Well, we'll just suit up and we'll go to Russia. You understand? Fight the Ukrainians. You understand? And just like Officer Zabad just said, these nations are allies to help fight against Babylon, which is America. You understand? America is spiritually Babylon. And so basically, they're rallying against Babylon and all its allies. You understand? And this is biblical prophecy, right? Where we read, nations shall rise against nation and kingdoms against kingdom. Best believe World War III is here. You understand? And it's about to get worse, right? We're going to keep going into the article. The reports come as Russia's military force is depleted after its unsuccessful attempt to take key parts of Ukraine, including the capital of Kyiv. Some estimates put the number of Russian soldiers killed as high as 15,000 to 25,000. Accounting for over 5 months of the war, that puts Russia's casualty count to about 100 soldiers a day. In Salakia, they always want to talk about how many Russians they killed, but they're not putting the numbers on the Ukrainian bodies, though.
Right. So here's the next thing. And during a lot of these war times, there is a lot of propaganda that happens.
Yeah.
Right. That number that they're talking about, it's most likely not true. Right. For Russia to be losing so much casualties. Right. But either way, the Most High is doing this thing where he's gathering these nations to go to war with each other.
And Salakia, if I may.
Come on.
To whomever is listening, thinking Ukraine has a fighting chance against Russia, right? Russia's not going to win the war. Well, guess what? You cannot go against biblical prophecy. Russia may lose soldiers, but the Most High will make sure Russia takes over, you understand, Eastern Europe. Ukraine will be part of Russia again, Moldova, you understand? All them USSR, ex-USSR countries, you understand? Russia will make a, what they call it? A Soviet reunion. It's not going to be a Soviet Union. It's going to be a Soviet reunion. You understand? Keep that in mind. You cannot go against biblical prophecy. The Most High don't make mistakes. That's the other one.
God, you can see that the Most High, he's bringing these nations to war. Hey, Shalom, priest, Yahbashim Yashabrak.
Another one where Yahbashim Yashabrak. What's going on?
Which while we just talking about Russia. North Korea is sending about 100,000 to help Russia.
Okay.
Right. They're trying to make it seem like Russia's losing a lot of troops, right? That's what this article is talking about. But we know the oppressor and his propaganda, and not all. Sometimes the things the oppressor says, they try to make it seem like they're Salakia. They'll want it to seem like the Ukrainians are winning the war, right? But Kim Jong-un, he basically said he's about to send a bunch of heathens over to help Russia, right? Shar, you could keep reading that article.
It's like, I mean, Barack Yalla.
Salakia, Barack Yalla. You can keep reading that article.
No sweat, I don't want. So Korochenko also alluded to reports indicating that Russia has invited North Korean builders to repair Russian-occupied Donbas. I mean, Salakia, you're sending builders with AK-47s.
Right. That's to let you know, like Russia is allied with North Korea, right?
Right.
You're going to see China get in the mix because China wants Taiwan and America is jumping in. See what's happening is America's doing the same thing they always do. They're spreading themselves out on all fronts, right? And
Right.
that's not a good way to win a war. Historically, America hasn't won a war since World War II. Right? So you're about to see a bunch of things that the men of the ISUPK already know. Right? These nations are going to war.
Salakia, if I may.
God.
Again, to whoever doesn't believe in the Bible, right? It shows you the Bible is real because we're saying America is spiritually Babylon the Great and is over all of the nations right now on the earth. It's the most powerful kingdom on the earth right now, right? Even though, like Officer Sabaja said, they haven't won a war since World War II, right? They kind of like, okay, so they are. If a nation is going to war like China versus Taiwan, America steps in. You understand? They cannot let China win. They cannot let China take back Taiwan, whatever the case is. You understand? America has interest in many overseas nation, I would say. You understand?
Right.
So like I'm saying, is like America, like the Bible says, right? How could I paraphrase it without being wrong? You understand? Like that great dragon, that beast, you understand, is America, is the most powerful kingdom, you understand? And yeah, I'm gonna just leave it at that for now. But just so you know, the Bible is not wrong, you understand? The Bible is very real. Everything that you see unfolding right now is biblical prophecy. You understand? All the nations are gonna fight against each other and they're gonna rise against Babylon. And when everyone presses on the button, Christ is gonna crack the sky open with the angels and put an end to the slaughter. You understand?
Right. What else do we got in that article?
So it says, one moment. Alexander Matsegora, the Russian ambassador to North Korea, said in an interview in July, Korean builders who are highly qualified, hardworking, and ready to work in the most difficult conditions will be a very serious part in building the destroyed infrastructure of Donbas. Korchenko called North Korean builders resilient and undemanding, and said most importantly, they are motivated. North Korea and Russia have experienced a closer partnership after Russia's invasion of Ukraine, with North Korea being one of the only countries in the world to recognize Donetsk People's Republic and the Luhansk People's Republic as independent. Right?
All right, so you could just drop that right there, right? Baraki Allah, get Joel chapter 3 verse 2.
Kind of Wakan.
All right, because this is all the chess pieces being moved, right? The chess pieces are on the board. The Most High is playing chess with these nations, and the other nations don't even realize what's happening, right? They're being moved to go to war with each other, right? Because all the other nations have taken advantage of and made merchants of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, right? To a point where me and Officer Sharyuan, we were at a Black event the other day, right? Or yesterday, to be exact. We had a Black event yesterday, and they had heathen booths in the Black event. Right? The nations look at us like money. They look at us like a big ATM machine. Right. Knowing that we have spending power. I was trying to figure out why the hell is a Filipino corn booth at a Caribbean festival?
Right. It's a lockout one.
God.
It's like, remember when I spent the weekend in Toronto, right? With
Right.
two brothers. So at some point, when we're passing out flyers, right? We speak to what we think is a brother that appears to be a heathen, saying he's only here to make money selling flags, a Hamite. I don't know if you remember that.
Right.
You understand? So during Caribana, the Caribbean festival, even though it would be like some type of pagan celebration. You understand? You have the heathens coming to what would be a Caribbean thing, a West Indian celebration, just to make money off of us.
Right.
He doesn't care about the carnival. He wasn't here to celebrate anything. He just said, I'm here. I'm only here selling flags. I'm only here making money.
Right.
That was a Hamite.
These heathen nations, they like us being enslaved. They like
Right.
our slavery. Because they know at the end of the day, we're going to spend money on them. Right? We're going to take our money that we get from the slavery and spend it on these heathens.
So lucky, and if I could add,
God.
what's heavy about what you brothers are bringing out is not only do they come to our communities to make money off of us, don't think for a second that they're buying black business. Like they're putting their money right back into their own, just as we should.
Right. Right. That reminds me of a story I want to bring out sooner or later, right? Black women, y'all spend billions of dollars on hair products in Moabite shops. And none of that money funnels its way back into the black community.
Right.
Right. Another point of the story that I'm going to bring out is a lot of these Moabite shops used to hire sisters. Now, when you walk through the city of Toronto, these Moabite hair stores that make billions of dollars off of us, no black people working them. Right? Like I walked into a shop the other day and they had black music playing, right? So at first I'm like, oh, it's just the radio. Then I realized this is not the radio. The mix is too clean. There's no commercials, right? So they're playing black music, making the store seem like it's black friendly, but no black people work there. No Hispanic people work there. And we spend the most money on these hair products. Right? Officer Barakiala, you back?
Wakan. I got the verse when you're ready, Adawan.
Hold up 1 second. Let me get with you. Salakia, 1 moment. You can read it.
Wakan. Joel chapter 3, verse 2. I will also gather all nations.
Right, all these nations. Wait, Salakia, start at verse 1.
Wakan. Joel chapter 3, verse 1. For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem.
Right, there's going to be a time when the Most High has these nations remember our captivity. He's going to bring it back up. Everyone thinks like it's just you know what, it happened so long ago, forget about it. We could all be friends now, even though you haven't got any justice, even though we're still making merchandise off of you, right? Even though you're still in our possession, right? The Most High is going to bring back the captivity of the nation of Israel. Keep reading.
Wakan. Verse 2. I will also gather all nations.
Right.
And will bring.
He's going to gather all the nations, right? The nations that have used us and abused us and murdered us at every turn, at every second, every chance they get, right? All these nations might hate each other, but they'll come together to hate blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. The Most High is going to gather all these nations, sort of like what you see what's happening right now. Ukraine is going to war against Russia. North Korea is saying we're giving more troops to Russia. China is going to war with itself because China and Taiwan is the same damn people, right? They're Moabites, right? They're going to war with themselves. You have the people who stole our culture in Israel going to war with the sons of Ishmael. Right? He's gathering all these nations to go to war. Keep reading.
Wakan, and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat.
Right. The Most High, he's letting you know all of these nations are going to war against the people from the original people from the Middle East, who are blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, right? The original people from Israel. He's gathering them together. He's going to bring them into that same Middle East. Like what the land that people are fighting over right now, eventually is going to be a war zone. It's going to be destruction over there because they're fighting over something that doesn't belong to them.
Right.
Keep reading.
Wakan, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel.
Right. So the Most High, he's saying he's going to plead for his people, for his heritage, for Israel. Right. He's going to plead. He's going to make these nations go to war. Right. That's what that pleading is. These nations are going to go to war. What the hell is that? Good night. He's going to make the nations go to war for his people and his heritage. Right. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you are the Most High's heritage. You are his people. You're not just niggas and spicks and Native Americans, and this is another derogatory word they use for Native Americans. This is just slipping my mind at the moment, but that's what you are. Right. Keep reading.
Wakan, whom they have scattered among the nations.
Right. Blacks is like we've been scattered. Like we're everywhere. Right. We're in Canada. We're in the UK. We're in the bottom of Argentina. We're in the Caribbean. Right, with heathens above us, right? We've been scattered among these nations. You could read that last part.
Wakan, and parted my land.
They took his land, our land, the land that we ran out of when Rome, when the Italian bands came and sacked Jerusalem. We ran out of those lands and spread into the northern parts of Europe. We ran out of those lands and tried to hide amongst a people with the same, damn near the same skin tone as us, trying to blend in. Right? We've been scattered and they've taken our land and now they're claiming it for their own. Y'all got anything y'all want to add?
Salak Yarwan, Wakan.
Khan.
So basically, what we're reading is what is about to happen, right? Well, actually, what is happening right now, nations going against nations. The Most High will gather all the nations, you understand? We're showing you where the last scene of the movie will be, the last fight will be, basically, you understand? In the Valley of Jehoshaphat, which is in the Middle East, right? So when all these nations are going to fight, you understand, it's going to be each to each their own, right? So who are you going to side with, Black, Hispanics, and Native Indian people? That is the real question. Who are you going to side with? Because your oppressor doesn't love you now. He's not going to love you. He's not going to love you afterwards, right? When everything pops off, he may request you to grab a firearm and help them in their army, but they don't care. They don't care about you. They never did in the first place. So why would you go fight in the war that's about to happen? That's about to fall upon the whole earth. You understand? What y'all need to do is to join the I.S.U.P.K. You understand? You need to come back home. You understand? Because just something else I want to point out. We have some black, so-called blacks, right, volunteering to go to Ukraine to fight against Russia and to aid Ukraine. They were warned that if they go to Ukraine, they will be called niggers. And this is not stopping them from going to Ukraine, right? But it should stop them from going to Ukraine. It should show them that these oppressors, wherever they are, despise you. You understand? So don't show no love, no support, no compassion to them. Keep that love, support, and compassion for your own people. You understand? because those Ukrainians that you're gonna go help, they'll call you niggers. They might fling a rock at your head. You understand? They don't care about you. That's it, other one.
Right. Now that's definitely heavy. What else we got in our article?
Give me 1 second. Let me go back to the article. So Matsegora claimed in the interview that North Korea receives nothing for cooperating with Russia, and said it just acted according to its conscience.
Listen, every beast loveth his own kind, man. They said they're acting towards their conscience. They know what it's like to have someone come and split your land.
Right.
Right? That's what the conscience is. There's a group of people that go around the earth dividing people, trying to conquer. Right? And that's what Babylon does. That's what America does. Right? North Korea said we're acting on our own conscience. They want war. They didn't forget how the Americas has intervened in every nation and gone into every nation and raped and pillaged and murdered. They want war, right? And the Most High is going to make sure that they get their war, right? Our king can come and destroy them, right? He's going to destroy them from the ground up. He's going to flip these nations on their head, right? And destroy these nations because Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you can't fight for yourself. You don't even know how to fight, right? Y'all don't even know how to fight against weed. You don't know how to fight against whoredom. So how are you gonna go fight against nations that have been to war and they have jets and tanks and they know how to kill extremely well? Barack, you were saying something?
I mean, Salakia, if I may, North Korea, they've been looking for an excuse to go to war with the West. Now that they have it, they'll jump in it head first. You understand?
Right. Now that's definitely heavy. They've been looking for an excuse to go to war. You're gonna see Paris jump ship. France is going to jump ship.
Right.
You're gonna see all these nations. Don't forget all those Middle Eastern countries that have been going to war with Canada, with America, with Britain. Right. They're gonna get involved as well.
Kind of Wakan.
All right, so we could drop that.
What
do we have left?
Let me just read this last part of the article.
Okay.
So North Korea is one of the very few countries that can afford to pursue a completely independent foreign policy. No one, neither Russia with China, let alone the United States, can force North Koreans to do something or not to do something. The ambassador added, promising to aid North Korea fight its sanctions on the global stage. Like we said before beginning the article, no one can force North Korea to do nothing or to not do anything.
Right.
North Korea has a mind on its own. Like I said in the beginning, Kim Jong-un, he wants to fight the whole wide world, he will. Kim Jong-un wants to press the button, he will press the button. No one can tell him not to exercise any like military drills. No one can tell him to stop working on his nuclear weapon program. No one can stop Kim Jong-un from joining the fight against Ukraine. No one can stop the North Koreans for not doing anything. You understand? Kim Jong-un said we're going to war. He's going to war. Best believe it. Kim Jong-un said he's pressing the button. Best believe he's pressing the button. If he says he'll do something, best believe he will do it. You understand?
Right.
Kim Jong-un words are not to be taken lightly. Just know that.
Right. Listen, these nations are going to war. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, sit back, get you some strong, get some popcorn. Right.
And Salakia, the one. Out of all them things, get you the truth.
Right. Get you in this truth. That's what you need to do. Right. Salakia. Listen, there's some sisters we got some popcorn from. Good night. You can go get popcorn from them. We're gonna be plugging certain black businesses over the next coming episodes,
Right.
right? Because we got to support each other. Clearly, Canada has 1.4 billion in money that they can help. They can help the plight of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. They're not doing it, so we got to help each other. These nations are going to war, and it's going to get to a point where you're going to realize that you have to lean on your brother. You're going to have to lean on your sister. Right? So we can get that next article. Officer Sure, you want to take over for a minute?
Come. Yeah, what we got next, bro?
What we got next? Give me 1 second, other one. So next we got. Well, since we're in the topic of war, do you want to go with China v. Taiwan, or you want to go with the Georgia woman with monkeypox?
Let's stay with the topic of war. Let's see what's going on with that.
Canada Wakan. So let me get the article. 1 second. And like Officer Baja said, China is just basically fighting itself because Taiwan is a part of China, right? Just like Ukraine is a part of Russia. If you really look at it, understand?
Right.
They're just taking back what's already theirs in the first place.
Okay.
So let me get into the article. Taiwan says multiple Chinese aircraft and vessels spotted in possible simulated attack. Salakia, other one, if I may. We've already seen that scenario. Russia was just practicing, exercising by the Ukrainian border.
That's right.
Next thing you know, it's a full-on war. Like I remember in February, right? We went onto Clubhouse, me, you, and Officer Zabaja. As soon as we seen the news, Russia invaded Ukraine.
Right.
It wasn't no military drills or exercise anymore. They crossed the border with tanks and AK-47s. They started shooting bullets, and they were not blanks. You understand? So that Chinese military drill or simulated attack, they about to drop bombs on Taiwan. You understand? They're about to gun down some Taiwanese. You understand? I mean, like they say, history repeats itself. Well, we already seen that scenario already, right? But let me get into the article, other one.
Salaki, let me add right before we get into this. What Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans got to understand with what's going on right now is that our freedom is coming, right? You hear General YAHANNA say it all the time. Our freedom is near. It is coming. Right? We're not going to be stuck in this place forever. And that's why it's so important that we come in the I.S.U.P.K and learn to change our lives. Like these things that are going on, like just everywhere going on in the world, this is biblical prophecy happening, right? Christ said, you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. These wars and rumors of wars are here and happening. It's been happening, right? Like Officer Zabadi was bringing out. I heard him bring out the prophecy in Joel. I'm not sure if you brothers got into Ezekiel 38, but it's no sweat. So these things are here, right? And all these things must come to pass. Funny story. I know this one brother I was talking to, and he's a Christian, and he's seeing all these wars and rumors of wars happening. And what is his leadership telling him? That brother moved out to Jamaica. He moved out to Jamaica thinking he's going to be safe out there.
Salaki, other one.
Go ahead.
If I may, just like you said, that brother that you were speaking to, his leaders told him to move to Jamaica to flee from the coming war, right?
Right.
It comes to a point I want to add. I have a brother in the world, right? He's an Ashray brother. He was my best friend and everything. You understand? His kid is my nephew, whatever the case is. I sent him the link, so I hope he's watching right now. If you're watching, you know I'm talking about you. He told me, worst comes to worst, when the war comes to Canada, whatever the case is, he's going about South America, right? Not knowing that the whole world will be at war, whether it's South America, Central America, the Caribbeans. Black, Hispanics, and Native Indian people cannot just move out the land that they're in to escape the war. It's not going to be working like that. You understand? Black, Hispanics, and Native Indian people need to gather together and come back as one nation, following the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, under the I.S.U.P.K, under Commanding General YAHANNA. You understand? We're able to avoid these plagues, these calamities, the so-called natural disasters, and the wars, the famines, and the wars that is to come. You understand? Because the whole world will be at war. Whereas Colombia, Mexico, Jamaica, Haiti, Martinique, Peru, wherever you are, you will not be safe.
Right.
You need to come back to this truth. You understand?
Right.
Right. Now, if I can add,
Can't go ahead.
if I can add, okay, that is so. Listen, to think that you're gonna run from one place to the next to avoid a war, right?
Okay.
What are you doing? There's a war going on in Jamaica.
Right.
Right. There's a war going on in damn near all of South America.
Okay.
There's
Right.
wars going on in our neighborhoods right now. Running from one war zone to a next is not the answer.
Okay.
Right? The brotherhood of the UPK and coming back to your culture is the answer. Right? You gotta dive deep into your culture and know that keeping the law, statutes, and commandments is what's going to keep you protected. Right?
Okay.
Lucky. And just one more thing, if I didn't say it, it's like not only are these wars happening, but these things are happening for you, Black man, Hispanic man, Native American man.
Right.
These things are happening so that we can have our freedom.
Right.
So that we can get out of this hell and get our own land and our own culture and our own nation back. Right? These things are happening for us. Right? We just got to pick which side we want to be on.
Right.
Like that's why Officer Zabadi said, like, just sit back and grab your popcorn. Right? Sit back, grab your popcorn, let these things happen. That way we can get out of this oppression that we're in.
Right. Listen, I got that popcorn, man. These sisters, they made some good popcorn. What is it? Bomb chocolate. Good.
Yeah.
Nice. Popcorn right now.
Okay.
Sweet. I'm gonna put up the videos in a moment. But listen, you got to support all your brothers and sisters, right? Support all your brothers and sisters, because we're going into a time when, again, you're going to need your brothers and sisters.
Right.
Like, for myself, I don't know where I would be right now if I didn't have the brothers and sisters in the UPK.
Right.
Right. Like, straight up, it would be a dark place. I could only imagine, in deep depths of hell. Right. Don't think that now Christianity is going to teach you that hell is a place where you got to die and you're going through torment. In the neighborhoods we live in right now, we're dead and we're going through that torment. Right? That's hell. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you are in hell right now. Right? Oh. You're gonna find heaven when you get together with your brothers and sisters.
Oh.
Right. And Salakia, one more thing I want to add to what Officer Shaiwan was saying, right? These things are happening for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian people. These things are happening so that we could have our own land and our freedom, right? The Most High needs to destroy the kingdoms so we could have our own kingdom. You understand? The Most High needs to destroy the nation, the other nation's rulership, so we could have our own rulership, our own land. Now, I just want to pull a scripture real quick.
Okay.
It's 2 Ezra chapter 6, verse 9, right? For Esau is the end of the world.
Right.
and Jacob is the beginning of it that follow it, right? So for those who are just tuning in, who are not used to biblical terminology, right? Esau, another name for Esau is Edom, right? He is the forefather of the Edomites, which is the biblical name of the Caucasian race. You understand? Who are ruling the entire planet right now. You understand? And the word world doesn't mean entire planet. It means era, society. You understand? So when it says that Esau is the end of the world, he's the end of the empire society that is in the rulership right now. And when it speaks about Jacob, Jacob is a man who was wrestling an angel, right? Whose name was changed by the Most High to Israel, who became the forefather of the Israelites, having 12 sons, right? Making up the 12 tribes of Israel, comprised of so-called Negroes, so-called Hispanics, and Native Indians. So when I say Jacob is the beginning of the world that followeth, meaning we will be the next kingdom to come. We will be in rulership after this kingdom, this society ruled by Caucasian people. When it says the white man's world, the white man's world is ending right now. Afterwards, it's going to be a Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man's world. Okay. You understand? That's pretty much what I wanted to bring out of one.
I'm sorry, Chris.
If I may, I'm going to go into the article.
Come on, yeah, let's get into the article.
This is from CNN, right? Hong Kong CNN. Taiwan says it detected multiple Chinese aircraft and naval vessels taking part in military drills around the Taiwan Strait on Saturday, in what could be a possible simulated attack against the island. Taiwan's defense ministry said some of the aircraft and vessels had crossed the sensitive median line in the Taiwan Strait that separates the island from the Chinese mainland. In Slovakia, I just want to bring that out as well, right? You see how Russia is fighting a war against Ukraine? When you compare Russia versus Ukraine to China versus Taiwan, Taiwan is way smaller than Ukraine. You understand? So even for people thinking that Ukraine has a fighting chance, which is not the case, what about Taiwan? You understand? Taiwan is way smaller than Ukraine. I don't know what type of fighting chance you think Taiwan is going to have, but like I said, it's biblical prophecy. So whatever you think is going to happen, it's not going to happen.
So this is what's happening with Taiwan, right? Taiwan was told by America, we're going to have your back. We're going to show up in the fight with you. What's happening is America's walking them to the fight. When the fight starts, America's going to be forced to back them up, but they're not going to.
Right.
Right. That's what's really happening. They're going to be like, okay, we're going to fight with you, but they're going to turn around and not be there.
It's a lock-out one.
God.
It's like brothers in the world talking about, yeah, I'll back you up in a beef. Right. When people start swinging and bullets starts flying, the brother's nowhere to be found. He's the first one running. Or he's in the bleachers just watching you getting hit and everything.
Nah, Salakia, I don't know if y'all watch battle rap, right?
Right.
There was a battle rap, right? They had these 2-on-2 battles, right? Murder Mook and Calico is on the same team. You had Briz Rothstein and Tay-Rock. Tay-Rock gassed Biz Rothstein to say some stuff about Murder Mook. Murder Mook was not feeling it. Eventually, fists started to fly. Tay-Rock was in the back. That's what's going to happen with China and Taiwan.
Right.
America's saying, yeah, we got your back as long as you don't get into any problems. America's already spread out too thin, damn near on every front. They're backing Ukraine. They're backing Taiwan. They're in the Middle East, right? It's a horrible thing, right? But again, the Most High wants all of this to happen so he can gather all these nations to fight with each other, right?
Eh,
But once they start fighting with each other, that's when Christ is going to come in. Christ
Salakia.
comes in. Come on, hold your point one moment.
Wakanda.
Christ comes in, they're going to stop fighting each other, right? And team up to try to fight Christ, and within 1 hour. Shariwan, get that precept within 1 hour.
Come on,
Rafael, what were you saying?
Yeah, I wanted to add one quick thing before we get back into the article, and that before Officer Shaiwan gets the precept right.
Come.
America right now is being reminded that nobody loves America.
Right.
You understand? Whether it's Russia, whether it's the Moabites, whether it's Kim Jong-un, soon enough they're gonna be reminded Central and South America despise the United States. You understand? As well as France and Britain, they're gonna be reminded no one loves white people from
Right.
all fronts, from all the four corners of the earth. White people have a beef with every single nation, literally.
And here's the funny thing, right? Every time America tries to eggs himself up and make it seem like we're such a good nation, Putin always reminds them of what they did to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans.
Right. That's what I wanted to bring out as well. Like Putin said straight up, like, I mean, you're talking about me taking over Ukraine when I'm only taking back what's mine.
Right.
Putin said, it's like, what about the crime? Okay, they call Putin a war criminal. Putin said, what about what you did to the other minorities? And he was pointing out at us, Black, Hispanics, and Native Indians, because let's put it like this, right? Putin is not wrong taking back Ukraine, Moldova, and whatever territory used to belong to the Soviet nation, right? But America, basically, why they're against a reason why they're against that is because, let's say Mexico would start to invade America, taking back California, Arizona, and New Mexico. You understand? That would be justified. But America doesn't want to see it that way. Whatever white people took over is theirs now. Nobody could take it back from them. That's how they see it. If you take it back from them, it's an act of war. But if they take it from you in the first place, it's just expansion. You understand?
God, that's exactly, that's heavy. Officer Shariwan, you got that precept?
Sir. This is Revelations 18. Salakia. Revelations 18, verse 16. And it reads, and saying, alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls.
Right. This great city is Babylon. It's America. There's no greater nation on the earth right now in Esau's kingdom than the one he built off the blood of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And the reason it's so great is because blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans built it. Right. Like we were talking about it the other day of how many inventions that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans made. The sisters made GPS. Sisters put a rocket ship on the moon. Brothers made stoplights, toilets, doorknobs, light bulbs, telephones.
Salakia,
And if I keep going, I'm gonna take up the whole podcast. Khan.
No, I was just gonna say whatever you said. I mean, when you went to like sister making GPS, rocket ship with, like, NASA wouldn't be NASA without a sister, right? I mean, the white man cannot even make a doorknob, a dustpan, or even a broom. We had to make that for them.
Right.
We made the refrigerators. We made the fridges. Like, whatever makes us go by in the world, we made it. Without us, there'd be nothing in the world. I mean, even like the Mayan and Aztec civilizations, they had irrigation systems. They had the original sewers. You understand? And the white man modeled his sewers and the piping and the irrigation system from the Mayans, from the so-called tribe of Zebulon and Issachar. in the first place.
Right. And on top of that, this is not the first nation we built.
Right.
We built Egypt. Right? We built that thing up. If it wasn't for Joseph, which everyone should be tuning in to the Saturday Sabbath service on I.S.U.P.K Canada, right? Everyone should be tuning in from the time is 12 o'clock, 12 p.m., right? Everyone should be tuning in because we break down the scriptures the way it was supposed to be, right? We give you the whole truth of the Bible, right? And what we're going to go into next week is how our brother Joseph went into Egypt and saved Egypt, right? And that led to his brothers and his family members coming over, running from famine. And within that timeline, we built up Egypt, right? Egypt is now America. America is now Egypt. Is modeled after the same thing, right? Sharyuan, you could keep with that. Wait, Sharyuan, hold that for a second. Barak and Allah, let's get more into this article because we definitely read more of this article.
Come on, so like it. We didn't even start the article yet. Barely.
Let's get into it.
Right. So our military has broadcast warnings, deployed combat air patrol and naval vessels, and activated land-based missile systems in response to the situation, said the ministry.
Ooh, that's a lituation. They're gearing up. They're about to go to war, right? They're gearing up. They got land-based missile systems, right? Naval vessels and air patrol, right? Because China wants back what's theirs.
It's a lot, the one.
Con.
Like I was bringing up with Officer Shine when you stepped out real quick. I mean, we already seen that scenario, right? That's the same scenario like Russia was doing military drills, exercise by the Ukrainian border. Next thing you know, the next day, Russia is invading Ukraine.
Right. Well, you gotta scope it out first, right? In
right.
all wars, you gotta scope it out. You gotta see what's happening. Like this is what happens, right? Someone that's trying to take your stuff, they're gonna start by taking just a little bit. They're gonna push the line just a little bit, right? To see how you react. Now we're gonna shoot live rounds over your nation, and you're not gonna do nothing about it. It's like, okay, we can take a couple more steps.
Right.
Now Taiwan, they're setting up their vessels, right? They're setting up their machines of war, of death and destruction, right? But eventually they're gonna have to use it. You can't just brandish a gun. You're going to have to shoot it.
Right. So, Lockout, one more thing before I continue with the article. Here's something to keep in mind, right? For basically most of the nations, there's a Chinatown almost everywhere. There's a Moabite establishment, right? In Canada, in most of the cities in Canada, the US, Europe, where there's Britain, France, Central South America, Moabites are everywhere. So now keep that in mind. They are loyal to their nation. So when the war pops off, I'm not going to speculate anything, but they will have some type of advantage. They are already in the land. You understand? That's the other one.
God. All right, bro. You can keep reading that article.
Khan. By 5 p.m. in Taiwan, 14 vessels and 20 planes operated by the Chinese military had been detected around the strait, according to a statement from the ministry. Of the 20 aircraft, 14 crossed the median line, it added. The Chinese military has not yet issued a statement on the purpose of Saturday's exercises. The news follows a series of military drills that China has carried out around Taiwan since Thursday, after U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's controversial visit to the self-governing Democratic Island earlier this week.
All right, you could drop that right there, right? Now, this is what's crazy, right? America is such a such a hypocritical place, right? Because when Russia wanted to get into Cuba, they made such a big deal. They sanctioned Cuba. They sanctioned the tribe of Manessa, right? And hit them with embargoes, right? Till this day. It wasn't too long ago that those same embargoes were lifted after like 30, 40 years, right? But now America feels they could just go anywhere and do anything. And China's basically saying, okay, well, you're saying you have their back. You have to prove it now. And this is what happens when you want to act like a gangster.
That's
right?
a lot the other one.
Khan.
Just to add on what you're saying, basically, America is a bold nation. They don't give a damn about anything. It's like I remember when Obama was in office, right? So it is they went, I think they went, he and Michelle Obama went to Saudi Arabia, right? And over there in some Middle Eastern countries, women have covered their head, right? Michelle Obama just stepped out the plane with her head uncovered, not giving a damn about the policies or culture of the land that we're going to. You understand? Just like,
here's the thing. Why would they? They are the rulers of the earth.
Right.
Right? Michelle Obama, she's not no Edomite, but she's in power of the Edomite empire at the moment. She was the first lady of the Edomite empire. Right? And like I was saying earlier, when you want to act like a gangster, you're gonna have to prove it.
Right. That's why, you know, they're such a bold nation. They're not gonna give a damn about whatever customs, culture, whatever laws that you follow or that you abide by.
Right.
When America steps in, it's America's time. You understand? Right. They don't give a damn about nothing else.
Right. They're definitely gonna have to do something about it. Right. Officer Shariwan, you can continue with that precept.
Come on, sir. So Revelations 18. Okay. In verse 17, it says, "For in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught."
Right. You think that you're going to have all the riches, right? America thinks, we're just so rich. All these oppressors and these nations think we just make so much money off blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. We're gonna stay like this forever, right? It's gonna be very quickly that the YAHANNA commands the armies, right, and they destroy the armies of the heathens that are round about us and that are against us, that oppress us and that destroy us and keep us in the wine press. Right? In 1 hour, all these riches are going to come to naught. Listen, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you want to sell all this dope, right? You want to do everything and OnlyFans and the strip clubs and prostitute your sisters, thinking you're going to get the riches of the oppressor's kingdom. This kingdom is sinking. It's falling. It's being destroyed. You can't see it. I don't know how you don't see it, but the men in the UPK, the priests and prophets of the Lord, the soldiers that Commanding General YAHANNA set up in these nations, right? We keep telling you that everything is going to come to naught. It's going to come to an end. The end is nigh. It's very close, right? And it's not going to take long for YAHANNA to, with the angels of these, with the army of angels that he commands, to destroy these nations, right? In here, we pray that Babylon falls. Right, because listen, you can't even defend yourself. Okay. Was there anything left in that precept?
Come on, concert. "And every shipmaster, and all the company in the ships, and sailors, and as many trade by sea, stood afar off."
Right, you can keep reading.
"And cried when they saw the smoke of her burning."
Right. This city is going to, this nation, this kingdom, it's going to fall, right? And those all that accompanying the ships, the sailors, and that trade by sea, right? Those are the merchants of the earth who sell blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans into slavery, who sell us drugs, who set up the stores in our neighborhoods, who sell Black sisters, Black and Hispanic sisters, a bunch of hair products, and don't put none of that money back into our community. Right? Black men, y'all spend so much money on Nike, and I've never seen Nike come into my neighborhood do anything.
Right.
Like straight up and down. I've never seen Salakia, name another company that we spend. Like we spend so much money on Gucci and Levi and
Salakia.
Black men, we want to look good, but those companies do not help us. Barack?
Like you said, we spend so much money on Gucci and them things when not only like a lot of these companies are like operated by sodomites, but just like Gucci, for example, clearly showed that they were racist with the new like Gucci mask they came out with, right? The new blackface Gucci mask they came out with. It clearly showed like they don't give a damn about mocking us. Understand? Right. But we would still spend millions and millions of dollars on Gucci belts, whatever Gucci accessory we could get.
Right. I used to buy a bunch of colognes. Now I don't even do that. I'd rather spend my money with Tazariak and Lily Creations because I know that money is going to come back into our nation, right? I would rather buy Asher Styles, right? That's a sister out in Montreal who's making the clothes that we're wearing right now, right? The shirts that Barack, that myself and Sharyuan have. Salakia for the rank and order, right? I'd rather spend that money there, right? I would rather go and give Barack some money and say, Barack, hook me up with one of those sauces that you used to try and kill us with, right? Barack makes a sauce that thing is a nuclear weapon itself. Good night. He makes nuclear sauce to put on your chicken wings. Good night. I'd rather spend my money there, right? I'd rather go give some sisters some money for popcorn than go give it to Orville Redenbacher.
Salakia, I don't want. Don't forget to mention, like, you'd rather like buy a garment made by Officer Shayawan's rib.
Right. Right. I would rather do that. Right. Because we know that money comes back into our nation. The other nations hate us. They don't put any money back into we got like billions of dollars in spending power. Right. We seen a brother get shot damn near 46 plus times, right? Out in Akron, what is it? Akron, Ohio?
So like wasn't it 60 times?
I said 46 plus because I'm not exactly sure of how many times. Listen, the brother getting shot once was one too many shots. Right. I'm not sure. If he got shot 3 times, it was 3 too many shots. Right. For a brother to get shot, now I'll tell you, I'll say this again, right? Because I'm always going to say this every time if a police officer shoots a brother, now I get it. Shit happens, right? Outside of you having to defend yourself, right? There's no reason to be shooting these brothers because Edomites are shooting us and gunning us down, and you're bringing them out and giving them Burger King and Happy Meals after. Right. I'm just wondering when they're ordering them Burger King, are they saying, do you want onions on it? Are they saying we're taking you to McDonald's? Do you want the toy? What toy do you want? Right. Because if you shoot a brother 3 times, he's most likely going to fall to the ground.
Salakia, I don't want.
Khan.
Just to add on what you're saying, it's like it really shows that we really are the nation that is not desired. We are the nation that is despised. Because every time they shoot a brother, they will use that excuse. He may have had a weapon, or I was fearing for my life, whatever the case is. But when it comes to Dylan Roof that shot up the church, armed with like a rifle, or Peyton Gendron, whatever his name is, who shot up the supermarket, you understand? Or any other so-called home terrorist who's a Caucasian young boy, they don't shoot them in the back. They don't shoot them in the head. They don't choke them to death. They don't shoot them in the back. They restrain them with handcuffs, and they put them in the van. And as for Dylan Roof, they bring him to McDonald's, get a burger. When it comes to a Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian man, they always have to use deadly force. You understand? Whether or not, like, I mean, most of the time, we're not even a threat. You understand? A lot of these brothers suffer from mental illnesses, or are just scared for their life. I mean, when you're scared for your life, it's fight or flight. When you see a police officer pointing a gun at you, I mean, how are you going to fight against that? Your response is flight. You understand? And there's such evil bastards, I'm going to put it like that, right? The white man is the devil the Bible speaks of, because he has a baton, he has a taser gun, but he chooses to use live bullets, live rounds on Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian men. Like, his first thought is to kill you, not to restrain you with a taser, right? Not to use the baton on you. I mean, to be honest, they're such devils that even if they would use a taser or the baton, they'll make sure to kill you with that baton or that taser regardless, right? Or even to shoot you in the leg or in the arm, right? To stop you from running away. They focus on shooting you in the back, or in the back of the head, or in the chest. You understand? They have to get that kill. You understand? That's all I want to bring out of one.
Right. No sweat. Let's jump into that last article real quick. Right. We see that the nations are going to war. We see that it's time for Blacks, Hispanics, and Natives to gather together. Y'all ain't been listening to us. We've been telling you that the Lord hates everything that you do if it's not what he wants you to do. Right? We told you that the plagues are here. And because you haven't been listening, the plagues are here. And now there's new things that are plaguing certain communities.
One more thing. If I may, let me just read this last part of the article.
Come.
Right, to our other one. So it says, the Chinese Communist Party views Taiwan as its territory, despite never having controlled it, and has long vowed to reunify the island with the Chinese mainland by force if necessary. So I just want to say, just like Officer 1000 Zabaja brought out earlier, China is basically fighting itself, just like Ukraine is fighting itself. They're just reunifying, right? They're making a reunion of their territories, basically. It's going to be a Soviet reunion, just like it's going to be a Chinese reunion as well. You understand? You're just taking back what is theirs in the first place.
Salakia, Sharyuan, bring out that last article when you guys are finished.
That was the other one.
All right.
Come on, sir. Salakia, Brock, was that all you wanted to say on that article?
Wakan.
Yeah, what you're saying is true, right? What you're saying is absolutely true, right? And again, I can't echo enough. I ain't even worried or care about what's going on with these other nations, right? Like, just, even doing this podcast, we're doing this for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and we're just letting you know not to be afraid, right? Not to be scared. These things got to come to pass, and we just got to get ourselves in order, right? So let's jump into this last article, Barack, if you could.
Give me 1 second, other one.
We getting into, see if I can pull this up. We got an article here. We got an article, and it's titled, "Georgia Woman with Monkeypox Says She Did Nothing Sexual to Contract the Virus." Good name.
So, like, I got the article.
God. Now, if I could, from what I've heard so far, I don't know if this is true or not, but from what I've heard so far, this virus comes from actual physical contact with somebody.
Right. I mean, Salak got one. They tasted the rainbow, not they got the rainbow pox. Right. I mean, like you say, it comes from physical contacts, and it is spread throughout. The majority of it, probably they said like 90 to 95%. It's spread from the LGBTQ community, the alphabet gang. Right. And they also said it's kind of like COVID. So someone touching a doorknob that has monkeypox, and if you touch that same doorknob, you could get the monkeypox. You understand? I mean, so like one more thing. They want to swim in the rainbow seas, they're gonna swing from the rainbow trees out of one Salakia.
God, Salakia. I don't know what it's like out of Montreal, but I know here downtown Toronto, you better be scared if you work in one of those Starbucks, because I know that alphabet community, they be all up in those Starbucks communities.
Salakia, I don't go to Starbucks. I don't even eat in my kid.
Cause
Salakia.
I don't know, but this stuff is coming. This stuff is coming. It is here. It is absolutely plaguing our communities, right? Something that I thought was so heavy was what Commanding General YAHANNA brought up the other day, is that the majority of people catching the monkeypox are Black, Hispanic, and Native American people. And this ties right into when you get in the book of Psalms, where it says that these other nations don't know the judgments of the Most High.
Khan.
Only given the laws, statutes, and commandments to Israel, because he's only dealing with Israel. He only cares about his children, what they're doing and what they're not doing. Come, go ahead.
I want to add one more thing, right?
Yeah.
So since not last month, but like about a month and a half, right? We had the so-called Jewish organization, which is basically a racist organization, to be honest. B'nai Brit coming against the I.S.U.P.K, talking about we hate gay people, amongst other things, right? But what we're doing, we don't hate gay people. We're telling our brothers and sisters living that alternate lifestyle to change their ways before it's too late, because there are consequences coming with living that so-called alternate lifestyle, as they call it. And one of these consequences, as we can see right now, is the monkeypox. Because just like AIDS, I think in the 80s and early 90s, whatever the case is, I forgot exactly, right? It was spread through the LGBTQ community in the majority, right? But they're saying we shouldn't ostracize them or point the fingers at them, but numbers speaks for themselves. Most of these cases come from men having sexual relationships with other men. You understand? So we're not just pointing fingers at anybody just for the sake of it, but numbers speaks for themselves. Majority of people going to get that vaccine are homosexuals. You understand? Mermaids, shrimp tempuras. Right?
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing that we do in the I.S.U.P.K. Right? Like we are the only place on earth that truly love Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. We are the only people on earth who actually love this LGBTQ community. Right? We don't want to see you get monkeypox. We don't want to see you die of AIDS and HIV, all these different sexually transmitted diseases. Right? We want you to live. We want you to have a healthy life. Right? To be able to see your kids grow and not have your kids bury. Right? These are the things that we want for our community. And you ain't gonna get that if you're a man laying down with another man. Right?
Khan.
Let's keep going into this article.
Khan. A Georgia woman who caught monkeypox while working as a cashier has said she did not do anything sexual to contract it. As of August 4, the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, has reported 26,519 confirmed monkeypox cases across the globe, with 7,000 102 in the US.
Damn.
Hey, yeah.
What else is there to say? Like, now is not the time to be playing around with the Most High, right? Like, I saw people going crazy when COVID was here. People couldn't wait for this to just pass and be done so that they could get back to their regular lives.
Right.
Going back to your regular life. The Most High is destroying this place.
Shalak, Yadwan, if I may. Like you say, people were waiting for COVID to be over. We have the vaccine. We have less cases of COVID, whatever the case is. We could go back to our regular lives.
Right.
Regular life is not coming back. As soon as COVID was so-called over, Russia invaded Ukraine.
Right.
Now we have the monkeypox.
Right.
Not only that, there's another variant of AIDS, and there's another so-called disease coming from China again. I think they ate some other type of rodent, and
and
something else coming from China again. Like the Most High is not sleeping right now.
Salakia?
No, I said the Most High, he's not sleeping. He's going back to back.
That's right.
Understand? When you think it's over, it is never over until the Most High say it's over.
That's right.
You understand? And Salakia. Yeah, I wanted to bring out something else. I just lost my train of thought, so let me just keep going into the article if I may.
Keep going.
Oh, Salakia, yeah, I remember now. We seen the same scenario with COVID. It was just a few thousand cases until it spread worldwide. You understand? Now is not the time to think my body, my choice. You sleep with whoever you want to sleep. I mean, if you're outside the I.S.U.P.K, go get tested. Go check yourself. Because that monkey is going bananas right now. You understand? And I don't know, to some of y'all can look it up. There's that sodomite Caucasian man, right? Talking about how it feels to have monkeypox. He said, he described it as having excruciating pain. He drinks, he's in pain. He eats, he's in pain. He speaks, he's in pain. You understand? Whatever he does, he's in pain. Monkeypox is no joke.
God.
You understand? And this is the thing. The Lord is not mocked, right? That's in Galatians. It says the Lord is not mocked. You understand? Well, the reason why you're going to see the majority of these cases happening to the alphabet gang, the gay community, is because they're mocking the Lord. What they're doing is they put the monkeypox, how you call it, icon or whatever it is, right, on the rainbow flag, and they're saying if you don't get the monkeypox, you're not really gay if you don't get the monkeypox. Monkeypox is like a rite of passage for them now. You understand? It just proves that you're a homosexual. It proves that you're down with the alphabet gang. If you don't get it, that you're not really an alphabet gang member. They're mocking the Lord, and the Lord is striking them right now.
So Salakia, and to add on, what's actually beautiful about this article here is that it's not even just if you're gay, you cannot be around these people.
Right.
You want to avoid these people like the plague. Right? I already know, like, if I saw two sodomites inside of a store, I'm not bringing my kids in there because I don't want my kids to see that nonsense. I don't want them to be taught something, right, or be shown something that's just totally against the Most High. But now it's real. Now it's like I don't want my kids touching the door that they touch. I don't want them sitting in a seat where they're sitting. Don't touch a table that they touch. You understand? Like, you damn near better start keeping these people outside your stores.
Right.
You're so worried about having only 1-2 people max inside of a Tim Hortons. Well, now you better keep all those sodomites out of your Tim Hortons.
The last one, if I may.
God.
Like back in the days, we had signs that were saying no Negroes, no Mexicans, no Puerto Ricans, no dogs. We should have signs that says no sodomites, no dykes, right? Because hey, like we said, 90 to 95% of these cases are being spread to their community. You understand? This is not hateful speech. Numbers speaks for themselves. Those are facts. You understand? So it's like we don't want you spreading this to every single community who don't even partake in your lifestyle. You understand? You want to live that way? I mean, like they say, if you do the crime, do the time. If you want, if you're willing to be a fish, you want to taste the rainbow, you're gonna get the pox. You understand? Like I said, if you swim in them rainbow seas, you're about to swing from them rainbow trees. If you don't want that, I mean, stay on land. Don't swim at all.
Right.
Don't swim with the fishes. Salakia.
If I'm not mistaken, too, I'm pretty sure it's a crime if you have a sexually transmitted disease, you knowingly have it, and you go around sleeping with other people. I'm pretty sure you can get sued for that.
It is a crime out of one.
Jail time, whatever it may be. So now I'm wondering if you're walking around with that monkey on your back and you're knowingly going around touching things, like, good night.
So
I should have the right to be able to protect myself. No?
Wakan. In Salakia, when I seen this video of this, I think it's an Edomite. You don't see his face or whatever, but you could clearly see like he has some type of rash that looks like the monkeypox. He's just working out, touching like gym equipment and things. Like you can't even go to the gym no more. You're gonna have to work out at home or whatever the case is, because wherever they are, you're at risk. You understand? But if I may, I'm gonna continue reading the article. If I may,
let's get it.
Wakan. So, monkeypox cases continue to be concentrated within the gay community among men who have sex with men. That's what we just brought out.
That's right. Right. If you're listening, Benai Breath, this isn't the words of the I.S.U.P.K. This is the words from Newsweek. Benai Breath, you need to go write a letter about Newsweek.
Right. So Salakia, I mean, this is not personal opinion. You understand? We're basically whatever the UPK is telling you, we're reading it out of the Bible. When we told you not to be a homosexual because it is an abomination to the Most High. An abomination is something that is disgusting to the eyes of the Most High. You understand? Sure. And that the Most High will judge you for it. He will punish you for it. Whether he will give you AIDS, he'll deal with you in some type of way. You understand? Right? And right now he's giving you monkeypox because you're a sodomite. Right? If I may continue with the article, Adawan. Experts keep reiterating, however, that cases are not exclusive to the gay community. The virus spreads through direct physical contact with an infected person, meaning anybody can catch it. So, like Adawan, to all the sisters having gay friends, you have to burn them bridges. Having a gay friend, to all the sisters having a gay friend is not a trend no more. You have to give that up. You understand? Because you're gonna hug your gay friend that has monkeypox, come home to your husband and give him monkeypox. You understand? We're not saying it's exclusive to the gay community. We're just saying the majority of it is being spread through the gay community. Right? But anyone can catch it. I mean, you gotta stay away from the gays. Salakia. You understand? And to every single brother and sister that is living an alternate lifestyle that we tell you not to live because there are consequences coming with it, you will start to feel alone right now. You know, fingers will be pointed at you. People are gonna want to separate from you, whether it's your family members that used to accept your lifestyle, whether it's your straight friends, whatever, whoever is around you they're not gonna want to be around you anymore.
Yeah.
You understand? You think people were not accepting gays back in the days? Well, they're not gonna be accepting gays right now.
Sure.
Nobody wants monkeypox.
Sure.
You understand? Especially with the gays talking about Salakia, I don't want. There's that sodomite talking about whenever he sits down, it feels like shards of glasses
Sure.
up in our body. Pause. Salakia. But you don't want to feel that pain. You understand? You don't want to feel no pain when you speak, when you drink, when you talk, when you eat. You understand? They're describing it as excruciating, meaning it's not tolerable at all. You understand? Whatever physical contacts you have with a sodomite, even if it's a hug or a handshake, you're bound to get the monkeypox.
True. That's lucky. You Black, Hispanic, Native American. You better listen to the priests and prophets of the Lord. Because I don't know about you guys, but I do not want to be walking around with this disease on my body. Salakia.
Kanwakan and Salakia are the one.
Yeah.
It's not even like, okay, it's not even like you can hide the disease anyways. This is not like COVID, you cough and you pretend like, yeah, I just have a little cold, whatever the case is.
Yeah.
I mean, your skin starts to look like bubble wrap. You understand? And it gets worse because like Officers of Baja brought out, I think last week or so, it looks like someone burned a cigarette or a cigar on your skin.
Yeah.
You understand? And you don't have to scratch the thing or whatever the case is, you know. Even that sodomite who was talking about is hurting when he speaks and when he eats and drinks. He said he used to shave. Now he can't shave no more because he has monkeypox all over his face, around his mouth.
Sure.
I mean, Salakia, let a razor go on top of them bumps. See what happens.
Good night. Well, Salakia, I think we can end on the article there.
No, for another one.
We definitely been in on this monkeypox for a couple months now. Right? And this thing is here to stay. It is not going anywhere. You understand? This is a lifestyle. The people that are getting this, their lifestyle goes absolutely against the Most High. You understand? A man cannot be going around laying with a man. A woman cannot be going around laying with a woman. This thing is an abomination to the Most High. Understand? And if you're Black, Hispanic, or Native American, you better heed the words of the prophets. Right?
Khan. And again, if you swim in them rainbow seas, you're gonna swing from the rainbow trees. And I'm glad I don't know how to swim.
Good.
That's a lot.
Good. Salakia, Brachiala. Anything else you want to bring up?
Khan. So basically, if you didn't do it yet, right? Go and cop Captain TITHES books. Yes, 3 books that are out right now. You understand? Yeah, Israel, son of Jacob, Reuben, my excellence, and we came from the east. The first 2 books are available on Amazon. The 3rd book is available on crossthelineradio.com. He's coming with a Spanish version of the first book, which is Jacob, Issachar, son of Jacob. You understand? Go cop them books. Get that knowledge. You understand? To all blacks, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian brothers, tune into the UPK classes. Come back home. We are the I.S.U.P.K, Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, under Commanding General YAHANNA. Since 1969, we'll be teaching the truth about the biblical scriptures. You understand? This is not a white man's book. This is a Black, Hispanic, and Native constitution. You understand? Come back home before it's too late. That's pretty much it, Adawan. And one last thing. This is the Rise podcast. You understand? We had episode 11 today, right? With me, I had Officer 1000 Zubaja, Officer 500 Shaya 1. You already know the host doing the most, Officer 50 Baraki Allah. Tune in every Sunday, right? Around the same time, 2 p.m., 2:30 p.m. You understand? We'll touch on the most recent, we'll touch on recent topics, whatever's going on in the news, whatever's going on in the world. You understand? And we'll keep you up to date with whatever is going on. I yield out of line.
And one more thing that we're gonna add, we got the Rise podcast email in the comments. If you're Black, Hispanic, and Native American, and you got a business that you want to promote, just send us an email with some details, and we'll see about getting your business up on here. That way we can support each other, support Black and brown business. All right, let's get it, Israel. So with that, I'm going to say shalom. I'm Officer 500 Shoyawan. With me, I got Officer 50 Baraki Allah.
Your host doing the most.
Damn right. With that, shalom, Israel.
Say they wanna hear that raw shit. These niggas claiming that they bullshit. These niggas better move and coach shit. Cause if they make the wrong move, it coach shit. You see me, they like, ooh, chemo stop it. I'm on my way up and they ain't gon' stop it. They say they wanna hear that raw shit. Coming up, I'm about to bullshit. They see me, they like, ooh, chemo stop it. I'm on my body, real niggas right beside me. Damn right, I brought my army, going up like a rocket, and can't nobody stop me. These niggas garbage, so watch your mouth, boy. Coming all black, slithering house, call me mouth, boy. I'm off the hip like a cowboy. I'm a king, you should bow, boy. Shorty like that, man, you cut up. Nothing I can handle. 144 in the booth, going Rambo. Niggas do you dirty like a stick in a bando. That's why I play the corner like a bum with a banjo. I'ma lead by example. Ooh, chemo sabe, got this bitch off the hand, got the juice, got the drip, about to hit the bitch with the salt. It ain't rap, this is salt. Can't taste a bitch unless you with the coke. They say they wanna hear that raw shit. These niggas claiming that they bullshit. These niggas better move and coach shit. Cause if they make the wrong move, it coach shit. You see me, they like, ooh, chemo stop it. I'm on my way up and they ain't gon' stop it. They say they wanna hear that raw shit. Coming up, I'm about to bullshit.
I do it how a veteran be. You better than me. I'm Reggie at the edge of the key. It's all money, no honey. Think you settle and see. You locked up, fucked up, and it's back to the streets. It's One West. You can check the residency. I reside with soldiers died on the soles of their feet. Cause there's death before designer. Ain't no coward in me. Cause I'm cold as a bitch's shoulder. You ain't calling a week. Get the cooking on this beat. Hope you like it well done. Got them killers rolling with me and they all red rum. Got you fuckers scared some. Get the banging on this beat till my fucking head numb. Black Glock, red drum, black and yellow Air Ones. Homie, you ain't got a vest, I suggest you wear one.
Told these niggas we was going up. They was doing a lot of talking, now these niggas ain't saying shit.
Feeling like a legend in this shit, lil nigga, I'm past veteran. Never feeling third, lil nigga, I'm past second. Guns, I gotta have them all like Ash Ketchum. Shot acronym.
They say they wanna hear that raw shit. These niggas